let's go ahead and here take a thorough analysis of one Mr. Meek Mill. Now, I personally have said several times, yes, Meek Mill has held some professional L's in his career. He recently stated that, look, I use back-to-back as motivation. Absolutely, we all need to find our motivation, and I'm sure for Meek Mill, maybe playing back-to-back for 2 straight years in a row is motivation to him. Me personally, I'm disinterested in something like that. We have to be honest, even though some of us hip-hop historians, myself included, may not rank back-to-back as high up on the chart as far as diss records go, but for the most part, it got the job done. And it was actually fairly embarrassing given the fact that Meek Mill is cut from that cloth, that Philly battle cloth, where we have notable battlers such as Cicero, Beanie Siegel. Hell, if you want to throw in the energy of Philadelphia Freeway, and we cannot forget my man Cassidy. So a lot of people at that time were really expecting Meek Mill to throw down in the booth. He said he didn't really care. That's a possibility, although I may point some hypocrisy out in your statement there, Mr. Meek Mill, because you cared enough to try to expose Drake, and Drake simply clapped back. Here's my thing. This is an opportunity for Meek Mill to actually strike back. Will he do those Drake numbers? More than likely not. Will he do Kendrick Lamar numbers? More than likely not. Hell, would he even do Logic numbers? More than likely not. But what can be said about Mr. Meek Mill? He will solidify himself if this album, this upcoming album, wins and losses, if it is actually something good. Now, again, we know that Meek Mill has held some notable social media L's, and I understand that. But here's the thing about it. I still think the boy can craft together a solid album. Me personally, as far as it is concerned, of 2015, if I'm standing correct, I'm sure if I am incorrect, some of you all will correct your boy in the comment section. I feel for the most part, Dreams Worth More Than Money was a dope album. It has actually some very good replay value. You know how many albums have dropped and we have not went back to those motherfuckers? Dreams Worth More Than Money for Prince Solomon, personally, it is a dope album. So I have no problem in believing in the fact that this boy, Meek Mill, will be able to craft together a solid album. What does that mean for Meek Mill though? I think if Wins and Losses comes out to be a solid album, I personally feel like this, at this point in stage in the game, depending on what Meek Mill does though, it is pointless to hate on Meek Mill. Now, if Meek Mill continues on with these social media atrocities and these horrible, disastrous events he has online and these weird blow-ups or these weird moments where he's paying random homeless Negroes in the street or homeless people and having them to do push-ups for $20, then yes, of course, Meek Mill will, of course, Meek Mill himself continuously. But so far from what I've heard from several singles from the EP that he released recently, especially the Hollywood joint, I really enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. Look, I'm all about somebody making some dope music. Make some dope music. I don't care about the petty beef. I don't care about you trying to flash the money. Just do something that I can feel good while I'm riding around or while I'm doing some exercises or creating myself. I have no problem with that. That's the misunderstanding that a lot of these rappers have when it comes to the fans. You can actually sidestep if you have solid music, then motherfuckers gonna rock with your shit anyway. Meek Mill should actually take a nod of cue from his boss himself, Ricky Ross. I mean, let's go back and think about it. Ross ran into all types of shit that arguably would have shut most rappers down. Ross went the whole thing about him being a snitch, a CO, that he was undercover. Some people went as far as to say that he was the cops and he's here to just report on certain rappers. 50 Cent was cutting up about it. A lot of rappers started using Rick Ross as a punchline. But guess what Rick Ross kept doing? He gave them one more, and he kept chugging, he kept hustling, he kept making his music, he kept pushing, he kept being consistent. Consistency is key. And guess what? Eventually, the fans grew tired of trying to antagonize Rick Ross with new jokes. In fact, now the reverse has happened. At one time, it was trending and it was actually cool to have a Rick Ross joke, a Rick Ross donut joke, a Rick Ross, the back of his neck looked like sweaty hot dogs joke. But now, if you comment and you say something like that under some of the new music he has dropped recently, people actually respond to you like, man, come on, what are you doing with your life though? So if Meek Mill wants to pivot correctly in the right direction, which I feel what he's doing so far, he's staying out of the drama. And also, hopefully if he honors his word, Meek Mill did say a little bit earlier last year that he was going to try to step away from the gun violence and a lot of the gun talk in a lot of his music. You know, because some people say these rappers are walking around with these crystallized unk chains just for show. I said, well, so some of the niggas in the conscious community. We already know how that go. So if Meek Mill can take some lessons from his boss and keep pushing, Meek Mill could actually overcome a lot of shit. He has a very solid following. And then when I say that, no, is he going double platinum, triple platinum, quadruple platinum, quintuple platinum? Absolutely not. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying he has enough followers that they believe in Meek Mill. Then he also has some middle roaders like myself. If he has a hot joint, I will check it out. Pending he doesn't do anything on a level of a fuckery like some of the shit he has been doing lately, but he's chilled out. So that's what I'm saying here. Again, Meek Mill can pull through if the wins and losses turns out to be just as good at Dreams Worth More Than Money, or if not, motherfucking better. So this is your boy Prince Solomon. Leave your comments below. Tell me, what do you think about this? Do you think Meek Mill could pull through? And if he pulls through with that Robert Horry clutch shot, what does that mean for Meek Mill himself? I am out. One.